Cool, man. Welcome to another episode of the Indie Stage. I'm the Sam Sangoma. Today we have a very special guest who just played a very, very nice set. Quick and easy and nice. Mr. King Schwarz, from Vitamin Deep. How are you doing, man?
I'm smooth, my nigga.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah, man. So basically we just wanna get into it, smooth and nice and easy. Basically, first of all, who is King Schwarz?
It's a complicated being.
Let's try to unravel the complication.
Working within the music industry. Yeah, pretty much everything that involves music, from DJing, production, distribution. You can name all these underlaid facets of the music industry. I basically work with them, strategy included, throw events in there, as a curator, and yeah, man, that's about it. That's who Schwarz is, King Schwarz. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That moniker, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're basically a versatile music lover who does mostly everything.
I live for this ish.
Oh, I like that. Cool, man. So where did the love of music start? When did you realize that you really love music that much?
I don't think there was ever a time I didn't love music, like music has always existed in my sort of like life.
Yeah.
I don't have a memory that I can attribute outside the scope of music. Like, since I was a kid, when New Year, was Happy New Year vibes, kind of, There's always ingoma yonyaka, like the song of the year and all that jazz, Grandfather's always playing records. My mom actually is the one that introduced me to this massive love because she had a collection. Back in the days, they didn't pirate. Yeah? They used to hang leg and then borrow it and then gone. It belongs to her now. They used to have a lot of exchanges. And every time we went to stores like Musica and stuff, you'd always find just a whole list of different catalogs and different genres in the store of various records. So I would go Saturdays shopping with her. Yeah, man. So, and then she would tune me, hey, man, faka leyan, ka Phil Collins. Put Phil Collins. And then I put the Phil Collins. MC Ham, She once told me, shit, I put her records like one stacked on top of each other because I didn't want to, I was lazy, And then I stacked them. And then she got out, because she would do like Saturday cleaning. And she got out, like, hey, what is this? And she grabbed me by the ear, but like, don't ever do that. That's why the ears look the way they do. Yeah, man, so it's always been, I don't know, I've never existed without music, Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, so as soon as you know yourself, you already knew, what I mean?
Yeah, it was there. I was Vitole Island.
Yeah, and I like that. So basically, where are you from in SA?
In SA, I'm from various places.
Yeah.
But where I sort of spent a lot of time, a small city on the way to this place called Bloom. It's like in the Free State. It's called Valco.
Oh, God.
Shout out to it.
Yeah, how's the music industry there?
How's the music industry in South Africa? Is there a music industry in South Africa?
Talk about that a little bit.
I don't know. I don't believe in it, but it's there. It's a fugazi of what we think is there. Yeah, but I mean, why are artists not, multi-billionaires like our Dr. Dre and them?
Okay.
I don't like to unpack this. I don't want to unpack this because it gets complicated.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But if you had to put it like in a very simple way, what do you think is the missing link in terms of getting to that stage?
There's no specific one because every small piece feeds into the other piece,
Okay.
From you deciding to make a song, why are you making the song? Are you making the song to sort of like entertain like 50 people or 1,000 people? What is your expectation when you render that track from your door? What are you trying to achieve? What is when you put it out there, whether it's for free or for purchase, what are you doing? It helps you understand the role that you kind of play in the music industry, and you yourself as an artist can feed into different facets. You understand? That's why I don't say I'm a DJ. No, it doesn't end there. there's intention behind other intentions, you understand, that help build the character that everyone receives. You understand? So from us getting the track out of the door to maybe getting it signed onto a distribution platform or a record label, that simply means I have a direction in which I want to take it to, you know, from the time when someone submits something to the record label, you know, there's already an inclined or there's already an expectation from their side. And then from our side, as obviously talent scouts or A&Rs, we then decide, okay, we're going to slot this at this time based on also the geographic climate of where we are, you know, in the music landscape, you understand? So, yeah, man, there's a lot that plays into it. There's also stuff like basically the monetary value that you get from there, you know. I would say out of 200%, 100% being publishing and the other 100% being something like your digital distribution earnings, you know. So that's your iTunes and your Spotify's and those streaming monetary value that you get, and your purchases like from Traxsource, Beatport, and then your local radio stations also playing into the other 200 or 100% rather, you understand, which is your publishing, the money that you make from this work that's out there on the digital space, you see. So the amount of copies, you know, it playing on radio, places like Samro and so forth paying you that portion of the 200%. They're responsible for that, together with Risa and all of these other conglomerates. Yeah, those ones.
Collection societies.
Yeah, collection societies. Thank you for that. I wonder, do they collect? It's a topic for another day.
That's a topic for another day. Yeah. So from what I'm hearing, you're really clued up and you understand the whole process of actually the music industry. Is that something that you wanted to understand so that you can become lucrative in the business? Or like you said, you just loved being around everything that has to do with music?
Look, I always say them, if you are a DJ, until when are you going to DJ? Because when I started DJing, the only competition I had was jukeboxes and DVD players. I hated those, you know, those mama jammers nearly. Something DJ, it's not jukebox, man. And then you find also in some instances the jukebox earns more than the DJ because DJs play for free. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I got to a point, because streaming started, you know. Streaming allows anyone who has internet connection to sort of like hit a Spotify. You know, you can entertain a crowd if you're a DJ using Spotify. I've seen it here in Josie. I was shocked. I nearly fell on my back, bro. Yeah, in Melville, bro. Not even far. So anyway, you have that competition, which is DJs that just play from the door, from the phone. Where's your job as a DJ? Because you're not even playing their favorite songs. When they want to prove to each other that they know the songs. Yeah, man. So there's stuff like that you face as you grow older in the industry and you start getting frustrated. So what's the next logical move? You understand? The next logical move would be to immerse yourself. A lot of DJs have gone from just DJing to producing tracks. You understand? Others have defaulted to just composers, you know, and so the wheel tumbles. Others are now agents for other artists, you know, just to make that extra impact onto the industry and make more money for themselves as well, you know. So yeah, others have become record label owners, you know. So the umbrella is quite big for a DJ to be able to feed themselves, even though you started DJing as the initial product offering, you know. So yeah.
Cool. That's interesting. That's where probably the idea for Vitamin D came from.
Yeah, because one thing that I wanted to do was capture a different sound in South Africa, you know. You're a witness to some of the tracks that I played. I've seen them rip up dance floors in places like Soweto, you know. Particularly because I think here in South Africa we suffer from preference. Like, I don't know if preference can be a curse, but it is in our country, you know. So as a label owner, you kind of like have to play a careful role, you know, how you impact these people that are listeners, you understand? When they hear that song, in the next 2 minutes it's gonna play, are they feeling the song, you know? Is the song malleable enough for the DJ to mix it? You know, those kind of things. So with that being said, there's a lot of competing genres as well. So you kind of like have to sandwich yourself in between the competing genres, which are winning, and also the deep house landscape or the house landscape, actually, you understand? So yeah, that's just it. That's what we offer from our side, you know, like the space in between your technos and so forth. And ikasi, yabo. It's lapho nje, we're just cruising lapha, yeah.
Cool. So if you had to describe the sound that Vitamin Deep is getting to the people, what would you say the sound is in terms of, it's deep house, right?
Nah, it's urban house.
Urban house, that's what you
I would say urban house, your classic urban house, you know. We miss going to the club, ne? And just hearing something that's gonna take you on a journey, you know. Like when I play, I've figured this out. Like it's my hack. You don't steal it. There's always those people that are longing for something, you know, because music is a healing force. You know, you can use it to heal, you can use it to destroy as well. You know, so what are you really doing? So when you're behind the decks, there you see, okay, those two heads are bopping. You know, so it's the same principle. What I'm trying to say is the same principle that I've been using for many years. Like, because when I started playing, it was the era before Afro. You know, that era, it was summer days. During that time. Then we went into Afro, and Afro also had like different messages. There was ancestral, there was Afro-tech, and then there was Afro-tech, like, like, that one is Afro-tech. And then there's this new age Afro, so back in those days, it was only ancestral, which Abo Babo Mngani. That was mostly ancestral Afro, you know. So you needed to know how to pick up the mood within those sets, you know. What's your first track gonna be? What's your second track gonna be? You know, to kind of like send out a message. So those are the different landscapes that I've lived in my lifespan as a DJ. Therefore, it also gives me kind of like a right to be able to dictate what is more appreciated out there, because every time and again, it gets proven through sets that I play, you understand, or sets that I curate for other DJs sometimes, you know. Yeah, so it's just a lot of research that I've done through growing in my 50 years. I'm 50 years old this year. In my 50 years, every 10 years, assess and
that's dope, man. That's dope. So you will say you're a scholar of like the industry. You like, understanding how the industry is waking up. Leading to my next question, so I went through some of the, the information that you sent me, and I saw that you guys are actually selling your own music via Bandcamp. So a lot of people don't really, sell music. They just let it to the streaming services and YouTube for free. So I just want to pick your mind. Is that something that money that you didn't want to leave in the table, or is it something that you just, realize that why not? Even if you still, if I have to ask, do you actually put your music on all of the streaming services, or do you concentrate on certain ones?
Okay, so it's technology, my brother, for me. No? Yeah. The information that I sent you is basically a link that links to a website, So, okay. It's a thing of preference when the profile was being created. So you talked particularly about Bandcamp. Bandcamp in itself is a great platform, because for your individual artist, actually, they get more monetary value than any other streaming platform, you understand? Even resellers of like distribution don't particularly distribute on Bandcamp because it's a standalone platform, you understand? It's the same as having your own website, So that's the kind of role that it plays. So the reason I put that on that particular profile is so that if, let's say, maybe my bio ends up somewhere, gets passed on to someone, they can easily go there, and then somehow it lures you to actually spend more money. So I mean, I think pay imali. And I went to stream, but streaming does work. Streaming does work, So it's just the psychology behind, So we are on all streaming platforms, Juno, Bandcamp, TrackSource, whatever, you name it, we're there, It's just preferably the dollar amount must count more. Bandcamp ukuthumela lapha.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't buy from me, unfortunately.
Nah, that makes a whole lot of sense. So talking about the money, so if maybe this might be a secret you might not want to divulge it to people out there. So how are you guys, kind of like marketing the music? How are you getting the music to the people? Is it people shazamming when sets are being played? Or is there a way using social media where you're actually getting people to get to those places like Bandcamp to buy the songs?
Okay, so yeah, basically we use social media, in particular, besides our following that's on our page, like all 5K of those people, some of them, you know how Facebook kind of like blocks your algorithm and you have to market, you have to pay something so that your stuff can be seen by 4,000 people that are following you. Yeah. It's weird, no? Anyway, so we push, unfortunately, in this case, social media, but what we found that actually works is Instagram. Reels work quite a lot. You'll be, and then there's a nice song that's playing. Oh, okay. Click link, you follow through. So on every single one of our social media platforms, there's a way to follow through to the major link of the song that might be promoted at that time. Or if you so happen to haphazardly have landed on our page, you'll find a link that's going to link you somewhere, you understand? So yeah, we use social media and dish out promos to radio stations and guys, that DJs. They actually play that music as well. And yeah, Shazam, as you said, comes into play, exclusive fan. Israela. Shazam, angitholile ntwana shaya phansi. So yeah, man, it's basically as you said it. We push the same kind of like standardized form of marketing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's nice. So I saw there's a lot of artists, very very dope artists under Vitamin D. I was playing some music there, really really. What is your there might be somebody watching this who says I want to be part of that family. How are you scouting these artists? Are they submitting music to you guys, or is there a way you guys are noticing them in in their own environments?
We deal with energies more than anything because of the concept that I mentioned earlier. After creating that song, what do you want to do with it? You understand? So the latter or the obvious would be to go hunt for artists. Yeah. But that guy maybe doesn't want that for himself because we're more focused on artist growth, you understand? So us being focused on artist growth, it says that now myself, even though I own this company, I'm going to form a relationship now so that I can help you push and better yourself, you understand? Because in this music industry, the one thing that we never had was people that actually genuinely care, like a lamb, you need to be a lamb sometimes and not be a lamb in a sheep's clothing, but in a wolf in a sheep's clothing, because you want to expropriate the monetary value out of an artist. Because artists also go through stuff, Sometimes I even am a psychologist, sometimes I advise people, So some people don't want that relationship because it's not just a record label that you can just get drop and then that's it. That's your music. That's your copyright gone for 99 years. Yeah, man, we don't, because we try to also educate. What I've found is I've found that no one knows what they're doing, and it's understandable. You might know what you're doing on the DAW or DAW, yeah? But it doesn't mean you know the ultimate purpose of what you're trying to do, And through discovering that, like there's a couple of songs that I played. I think the first 3 tracks is of a particular artist. His name is Donald Tech. His growth in just a space of time since we've been influencing him is amazing. He's one of the best in South Africa. That's how I feel. You heard the songs, you know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that keeps me alive. It gives me purpose, you understand? It gives my peers, because everyone that works with us is like the family. Yeah, we're family. We discuss stuff, okay, we share ideas, like we're trying to create and close that old school gap, that thing of uzo ukuthi ubani like is making hits. Yes, they're up there, they're out there, and then 5 years down the line, the artist has disappeared. How? Where's this guy? The record label used him for whatever that they needed to use him for. That's it. Uphelelwe sekebhema ama-cigarettes manje. Sekebhema ama-cigarettes amakhoneni manje, you know, because they have no use for him. Uphumile fashion, they don't help him. And to also learn how to gain monetary value and independence on the publishing side, which is the other 100%, you know. So that's what we exist for, basically. Yeah, to break away from old norms and focus on the future of humanity in essence. Yeah.
I like the fact that you talked about mentoring and actually being there, you know, for your artists. You know, so the artists probably appreciate that a lot because they have somebody that they can talk to. That's a good thing. So from there, you as a record label owner, what are some of the challenges that you find working with artists?
So the industry, or rather music, it's a game. Like copyright. Ingoma is copyright. Don't shoot me. It's copyright. You take it. It's in your hands, right? Tick it. Come to studio, master it. Sharp. Pumil, it's out there. Or you still have it, like you have it in your hand, your copyright. Ish, Maraman Tolu how? I was to you don't know where to go with this copyright that you have, everyone. So you're already defeating the purpose, because the purpose is you getting that copyright and then leasing it out. You know, the key word here is leasing music out. Because if I sign Nubian today, he's leasing me his copyright. The copyright belongs to him. He's leasing me to be able to convert it and change it or make it attract monetary value, you understand? Okay, sharp. For you Nubian and guy copyright here, okay. Then the contractual aspect is the most important part, because now I can give Nubian, let's say, for example, 10,000 rands. Thank you for the song. I know on the contract it says 99 years. Yeah, we have your copyright for 99 years. Sure. There are 10,000 and pay Lily after 2 months. The copyright is now Yakupu. Next year, food to swing on my Yakwambi strategy, but you're not earning anything from it. Nothing, because Onkama rights is what yielding 5,000. What was it? 10,000. Yeah. So, you know, fun. There's just a lot to unpack and talk about, but let's not do it now.
So
did I answer your question? I became emotional.
I understand. You know, you deal with a lot of artists and having to teach them about copyright. You find it that the lack of information in terms of artists, like you were saying, going in the studio and actually knowing the door and not understanding the copyright, like you were saying, that, you know, makes it difficult to work with artists? Or, you know, so do you kind of like try to teach them? Are they willing to learn? Or they just want to make the music and make the money, they don't really care about knowing where the money is coming from?
There is no making short money. If you're making short money, you're being robbed. It's as simple as that. Look, you lease your copyright because we're not a major, right? We're not a major record label. So you find that in South Africa, maybe 5 of us exist, 5 small record labels and 2 majors, Sony, Universal, and the guys in between, Abu Kalawa and all these other ones in between, right? So as an artist, you start hearing it from the studio and then you grow. As you grow, you keep leaving pieces of you in the form of copyright. Lapan. 5 years, Lapana. That 5 years, Lapana. After that 5-year period is done, they're going to notify you, and then upon notifying you, okay, we'd like to purchase an additional 20% out of your publishing rights, as well as on the digital rights. Sharp. Okay, sharp. And then they extend the contract to another 10 years, you understand? So imagine having 10 of those. And then as you progress towards your Kalawas and all of these other record labels, on the trajectory, on your way up, before getting signed by Abu Sony and Universal, you know, you keep leaving pieces of you. By the time you get there, everything that you've done, the spillage that you're gonna get from there, yo, it's gonna be massive. You understand? So, yeah, man, that's basically the train of thought that artists need to understand. Which there is no quick money. It's a trajectory that you take, an upward trajectory, and you keep learning, and just keep improving yourself and your way of life. You know, when I was 18, I wasn't talking like this, you know, but now I'm 21. Now I'm more awake. So yeah, man. I mean, it's necessary that we train and we teach people, and we do get stubborn guys. But you know what happens, ne? The stubborn guy hits at last scene. Can't push beyond that. Where do they come back to? That open door. So it's always open. You can say no to that. Uzobuya food. But what I like is that they come back stronger, you know, with more conviction. Yeah, man. You know.
No, that's nice. That's nice, man. So like you were saying, in terms of, you know, the business side of things and actually letting artists know about their copyrights and how you teach it. So from what I'm hearing, you basically started Vitamin D so that you can give a platform to these upcoming artists, to groom them to be great.
To be great, you know, to be better.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
I would like for them actually to also, I don't know, because look, I come from a place where there aren't many opportunities, right? I've said this a couple of times. I come from a place where there is no record label. Exist. Understand? It's not there in your eyes. So you're frustrated, you're still a student, and you're in Free State, for goodness sakes, you know. There's no SABC Lapan. But we don't get access like here. You know? Yeah, if you work at SABC, you know. Versus your Joburg, where everything is just, you can meet a person who works at this department there and there, you understand? So there's no opportunities, Lapan, and the majority of the guys that we sign actually from that side, you know. So we're trying to bring, it's been known that Free State has the most talent, you know. If you want to argue, let's meet at Gandhi Square. It's facts, you know. It's been known. There's this guy, the lecturer, his name is Clive Bean, you know. He once stated a case that, you know, the song Time After Time, that remix from Soul Candy, that came from an artist from Free State, bro. You know? So there's a lot of music that comes out of that place. It's just that, I mean, your Prince KBs are examples of those people that come from that side of the world, you know. There's a lot that's going on there. It's just that it's frustrating because it's not like Joburg. If you've lived in Joburg for your whole life, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about right now. You know, it's like you're in a desolate place and you're in a corner by yourself and you're feeling a certain way, you know. So every now and then someone needs to dip in and be like, hey, Vuan, Senzan, okay, okay, hey, who's that guy? Oh, all right. Sharp, put him on, you understand? That one instance that we sign that person starts getting signed by other labels, which creates hype around him, which creates a following, which converts into monetary value, you know. Yeah, so man, that's just it. That's the crux of it.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That's nice. Again, just from what you said, you know, from Free State and a lot of talent. Do you think there's ever gonna be a time where the artists that don't have to come here to make it because the guys who came from there, like the talented guys, are starting to, you know, invest back in Free State and trying to create an industry there?
Yeah.
Do you think that time will...
I don't know. And when I say Free State, I'm not talking about only Free State. There's places, man, in Mpumalanga, somewhere. There's always a hood that is unknown, you know. Kimberley, like last time we went to a place just after Rustenburg. After Rustenburg. I don't know what. I call it Botswana because Botswana is not far from there. Yeah. We get there, the DJ that's been booked for the event plays techno. They didn't know what techno is, bruh. Wow. I'm telling you, unbelievable. Yo! And they were losing their minds.